Welcome on in, race fans, to tonight's event, race number 2 on the season for the Trinity Racing League. We have headed into the heartland here in Kansas, and it is a very overcast, very foggy evening here at Kansas Speedway. We're getting ready to throw the lights on over the racetrack. My fellow co-host, as always, Tom Richter, is joining me. And Tom, we've been wondering how late they're going to wait before they throw those lights on.
Good evening, Arie. Yes, we certainly have, as we are atop the flag stand right now, taking a look at the cars coming across the start-finish line. The lights up on the outer rim of the track right now, still not yet illuminated, so we'll see when those come on. But good evening to you, Arie. After 3 weeks at Echo Park Speedway, I know that these drivers are excited to be back at a mile-and-a-half track and really kind of pick up the first technical sort of style track of the season.
Absolutely the case, and one thing that I think these drivers are going to be appreciating here is the fact that while, yes, we have departed from Echo Park Speedway after being there for 3 weeks, there was a lot of drafting going on, and this is a track where that's still going to come into play, albeit not in exactly the same way. You're still going to be working with momentum. You're still going to be timing drafts and runs and using the side draft a lot down the straightaways. So we'll see how these drivers can put to the test all of the stuff that they learned over the past 3 weeks.
That is certainly true, and drivers leaving Echo Park in Kansas out here tonight. Chris Stitz wins the race last week at Echo Park Speedway, and right where he left off, he picks up again here in the Sunflower State. 160 at Kansas at the top of the speed charts right now. 160 laps of racing here tonight.
That is correct. Chris Stitz, top of the board right now. Mike Miller, currently P2 on the practice charts, has put in the most time of any driver in this past hour, 71 laps around Kansas Speedway. And if I'm not mistaken, Tom, I think Mike Miller in the 99 was also the driver with the most practice laps last time out.
I do want to say that that sounds correct, and always got to love it when a driver gets out here and utilizes the practice session, and Mike certainly putting in the practice session. Another driver that is Josh Kanata. He has about 50 laps on his run out here. Jarrett Talmadge has about 50 as well, and a couple of latecomers to practice: Dakota Moniz, Graham Walker, and Aaron Krolick.
All right, we've got just over 1 minute until we switch over into the qualifying session for our race tonight in Kansas. Still awaiting those lights to be thrown on over the speedway, but we could check in with some of the drivers as they make their way around the racetrack. Driver 27, Jarrett Talmadge, previous champion of the Trinity Racing League, gonna look to get out here and hit the ground running now that we're into the more technical stuff and out of Echo Park. And all things considered, Tom, even at Echo Park, he did make his mark known, even if it didn't work out in the end.
He did. Comes into Kansas. He is 4th on the board right now. Had some issues at Echo Park Speedway for that number 27. Unfortunate end to his evening last week, but looking to turn his season around out here tonight. Another driver who had a good run last week at Echo Park is Ryan Kellen. That 13 was a contender for the majority of the night.
Absolutely. The 13 car was up in the picture for pretty much the entire time. Going to be looking to come out here. He followed up with another solid performance in that Camaro. A couple of other names that we can see driving out on track right now. Driver 25, Cody Reed, had a great 3 weeks at Echo Park, all things considered. Won the Clash, got the pole for the event. He was in the mix every single time they went out on track. So we'll see what the 25 can do given his momentum, given his form in recent weeks.
Barney is waving the checkered flag over practice, and drivers gonna get set to begin their 5-minute 2-lap qualifying here from Kansas Speedway, as we see a very foggy and overcast track that these drivers are going to have in front of them, looking to figure out who is the first one to light up off of pit road. And it is about time we looks like Josh Kanata is going to be rolling out first in that Supra.
And more importantly, Tom, the lights have finally turned on, so they did not forget to pay the power bill here at Kansas Speedway. We're going to watch driver 16 making his way out on track. Return of those bright purple and green colors that we know all so well from Kanata's race car. Josh has been doing a lot of stuff recently. I know we cover not one but two leagues in which we get to see that 16-car race in, and I feel like in the short time that we've covered him, we've definitely seen him kind of take a step of improvement speed-wise.
We certainly have, and he's picked up a couple of poles here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network, and see if he can do the same out here tonight. Has had some good runs, but the thing that I've noticed most about the 16 Arie is the wreck avoidance from the 16. We've even kind of coined a Josh cam internally here with the race administration, and every time there's an incident, Josh seems to make his way through without getting involved.
Absolutely. I tell you what, first time we get an incident caution tonight, I'm looking for where that 16 car is. Off of turn 4 we go, though. It's going to be the first time on the board set by driver 16, and that time to beat is going to be a 30.9 as we get Kralik jumping up ahead on the first go-around.
A couple other drivers out on track right now following the current tentative pole sitter, Aaron Kralik, in that 0-1 Camaro as he comes out of turn number 2. Still holding the provisional pole, but hold on. Nolan Hicks just knocks him off, and he's going to have to pick up on lap number 2 if he wants to retake that pole position.
One thing that we're going to see here at Kansas Speedway is a very, very tight margin amongst the top qualifiers. Often the case, Kralik's going to come across the line. It's still P3, and we can see what some of these other drivers are going to do across the line. We jump over to Scott Richter in the 0-5.
First time by for Scott, good enough for 10th on the board for that 0-5, and see if he's able to pick up as he comes across. Lap number 2 moves him up to a top 5 position as he runs right now. Move on over to Isaac Shelley in that 98, working lap number 2.
Shelley in the 98 is going to come off of turn 2, hauling down the back straightaway, looking for a good second lap right here. First one was good enough for P12. Going to look to improve on that. As we sit, Nolan Hicks in the 86, provisional pole sitter. Off of turn 4 we go, just keeps it out of the wall and to the line. Isaac Shelley is going to put that race car P1 top of the board.
Top of the board, fastest so far of the 17 drivers who have completed a lap. Working with Stephen Clapp right now, going to finish his second lap. Going to hold 9th on the board, head on over to the 42 of Mark Libertoni, see what he's able to do. He had a good finish in one of the early duels a couple of weeks ago at Echo Park Speedway, looking to start his season the right way.
Down the back stretch, Mark Libertoni in the 42, going to bring us to the conclusion of his second lap. Also on their second lap, Mike Miller, Joshua Stovall at the moment running around the racetrack. We'll catch those times as well. Off of turn 4 we go. Driver 42 is going to bring it to the line, and that lap is going to be good enough for P9.
9th on the board for Mark as Sam is completing his second lap in that Toyota Supra, that bright pink and white Toyota Supra. Currently 11th after his first lap. We'll see what he's able to do, if he's able to pick up. Running a little bit off that bottom white line there, Arie.
Absolutely. I've noticed that he is definitely running a little bit up the racetrack. Here we go then across the line. Samuel Garcia is going to put that race car P10. Jared Talmadge jumps up to the front row P2 as we jump over to Chris Stitz, previous race winner.
Last week's race winner and current points leader as we come in to tonight's race. Race number 2, second lap, going to be good enough for top 5 as they run right now. Taking a look at Justin Campbell in this number 2 machine, see where he is able to go. First time by was 18th.
Justin Campbell in the contention to win last week's race, came up oh so short, was one of the two going for it at the very end. We'll see what driver 2 can do. This time out of turn 4, Thomas Green jumps up to P6, and we'll see what Justin Campbell does with that Toyota Supra. It's going to be P2, front row, just misses out.
30 drivers in the field out here tonight. 27 of them have taken time. 3 drivers electing not to take a qualifying session as that wraps up. Cedric Hunter, Sam Dyer, Graham Walker, the drivers not taking a qualifying time.
And with that, our results are locked in. It's going to be Isaac Shelley in the 98 taking home the Blazing Fast TV Pole Award tonight in the Trinity Racing League, getting started very nicely out here in Kansas. These drivers are going to have an opportunity to warm up for a handful of laps here. And while they do that, I think Tom is catching up with our pole sitter to get some words before we officially jump into race time. We can find him
we've
here.
got Yeah, let's see if we can't find. Let's see if we can't find Isaac.
I don't know about you. I can't say I can.
I do not see Isaac. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at our second place qualifier. Let's grab Sam Garcia here. Sam, Tom, and Arie in the Cyber Thunder booth. How you doing tonight, sir? All right, we'll give Sam a second here, see if he's there. Maybe he stepped away, but good starting spot for Sam as we wait to see.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. For what it's worth, I would also take this as an opportunity to step away if I were a driver. So fair enough. On that one, we will wait and find out. Let's see if we can take a look at some drivers making their way around the track right now during this 5-minute warm-up session right here. We got driver number 9, Stephen Clapp, qualified P3. Was that qualified P3? No, this order is different.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the warm-up lineup as they come here. Driver's going to have 5 minutes here, about a minute and a half already into the warm-up out here. While we wait for this race to begin out here tonight, taking a look at the upcoming schedule. Next week we have got we're going to be back home again in Indiana. We're going back to the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Red Bull Ring on February 2nd, and then Michigan on the 9th.
I tell you what, I'm still a little jaded. I don't get to race the Red Bull Ring, and I got to sit up here and call it because I tell you what, Tom, that's gonna be quite the race to watch if I do say so myself. I'm looking forward to that one. It's a great track. I've driven it in the F1 car a number of times.
At the top of the board right now, drivers making their final runs in warm-up. We are going to have Mike Miller at the top of the board right now, Josh Stovall, Stephen Clapp, Sam Dyer. A couple of more cars out on track right now. They kind of use this warm-up here, Arie, either 1, to run to the restroom before the race starts, or 2, to really kind of practice the pit entry here as we're seeing Ali Fonseca do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to forget about practicing that pit entry during that practice hour. You're so focused on short run, long run, getting that qualifying lap dialed in that you can kind of overlook it. But when you have this last little bit of time, it's not long enough to really get a short run or a long run. So you might as well go out there, practice some getting on and off a pit road. And I mean, you and I have raced together numerous times at this point, Tom. I feel like, being good on pit road it can really be kind of a make or break kind of a thing. I mean, I, as a driver, kind of pride myself on it. I feel like I've won a number of races off of pit road alone just from that. So it's a good skill set to have.
It absolutely can. And, something unique about the Trinity Racing League here, Arie, is that unlike many NASCAR leagues that currently run on the iRacing.com service, no stages out here. So they don't have that guaranteed yellow to bring them down onto pit road and regroup the field. So I think probably here more than a lot of the other leagues that we're familiar with, pit road entry so critical.
Oh, absolutely. A lot more green flag pit stops given that is the case, though we are early in the season, and early in the season the chaos seems to be a little bit higher anywhere you look, anywhere you go. So we'll be keeping an eye on everything, of course, as we watch Thomas Walter in the 57 make his way around the circuit during this warm-up. We've got just under a minute left in this warm-up session before we set our grid.
Quick take a look at the current season standings. Leaving Echo Park last week, Chris Stitz with the win last week comes in here tonight leading the points over second place Cody Reed. Chris Stamper third coming in here tonight. Looks like he's going to be 5 points behind the points leader of Stitz. Justin Campbell and Josh Stovall all inside the top 5 as these drivers already starting to think about the playoffs beginning at the end of April.
Oh yeah, that'll sneak up on you. It'll show up a lot faster than you're thinking. And I know you and I have kind of experienced that in one of the other leagues that we call as well. So you can't blink or you'll miss it. Every single opportunity you have to be on track, you've got to capitalize. Checkered
flag out over the warm-up session here, Arie. And what do you say? It is a Monday night and it's about time that we go racing here from the Trinity Racing League from Kansas Speedway for the Sunshine State 160 on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Taking a look at the qualifying results, Isaac Shelley going to be rolling off with the Blazing Fast TV pole award out here tonight. Justin Campbell going to be starting on the front row next to him. Jarrett Talmadge rolls off third with Nolan Hickson fourth. Arie Fonseca is the top five. Sixth place is last week's winner, Chris Stitz, out of Hack Racing Team, and Thomas Green in seventh. The top 10 is Ryan Kelly, Mike Miller, and Noah Steele.
In P11, it's going to be last week's pole sitter, Cody Reed, ahead of Josh Kanata in P12. Row 7 is going to be Jesse Thornick and Scott Rickard. 15th goes to Samuel Garcia. 16th, Mark Labertone. In 17th, we have Clint Cox. P18 goes to Chris Stamper. Rounding out the top 20, we've got Stephen Clapp and Aaron Krolick.
Our field of 30 out here tonight is rounded out by Joshua Sawyer, starting 21st on the board. Josh Stovall is good enough for 22nd in his qualifying attempts. Thomas Walter rolls off 23rd with Ben Kinney to his outside in 24th. Dakota Moniz rolls off 25th with Eddie Donahue in that 12, rolls off 26th. Justin Smith and the three drivers electing not to take a qualifying time out here tonight, Cedric Hunter, Graham Walker, and Sam Dyer.
There we have it. There is our lineup for tonight's event. I'm looking forward to the challenge that tonight's event should present. And of course, got to give a shout out to the grid sponsor, Blazing Fast TV. Looking for a chill, relaxed stream? Race on over to Blazing Fast TV on Twitch and YouTube to see a live POV of Dakota Moniz as he races. Drop a follow, sub to stay up to date when he goes live and post content. Dakota Moniz, of course, one of the drivers in the field, starting P25.
Drivers getting the final preparations in these NASCAR O'Reilly cars, getting set to roll off. Everybody's being called down to grid. Looks like we're waiting on maybe one or two more cars to hit the grid, but Arie, this is really kind of the first test. We raced 3 weeks at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and tonight we come to our first mile-and-a-half track of the season, where we will see who is able to take win number 2 of the season. Does Chris Stitz go back-to-back with wins, or do we get another first-time winner?
Well, I tell you what, Tom, going back-to-back, particularly in the first 2 races of the season, is one of the hardest things to do. And it looks like pole sitter Isaac Shelley pulling off to the inside lane. Not entirely sure what the word is on that one, but perhaps serving some sort of penalty and starting towards the rear.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be going all the way back, as he's currently 28th out of the 29 out of the 30 drivers out here. So it looks like Isaac Shelley serving a pre-race penalty of some sort. That is not what you want after you start from the pole, but Arie, we're about to go green flag racing. Lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. That's going to put the control car to Justin Campbell on the outside, I believe. I believe that's going to give Justin the control to restart, and Jarrett Talmadge to his inside.
We're going to find out how iRacing deems to score this start, but here we are then. Pace car's off, green flag is out, and we are racing for the second time this season officially in the Trinity Racing League.
Everybody up through the gearboxes for the first time of 160 out here tonight. Jarrett Talmadge on the inside, got Arie Fonseca in that bright yellow 24 Camaro, pushing him on the inside. The 2 of Justin Campbell's going to be 3 wide on the exit of 2.
That he is. We can see a couple wiggles as we get out of turn 2 and make our way down the backstretch. Now everyone's up to speed. How are they going to manage this tricky turn 3 entry?
Sideways directly behind him, we have a couple of cars having a moment here. See Noah Steele involved.
Number of drivers. I think that started with the 99 of Mike Miller, I want to say. I saw getting sideways off of the corner there. Let me cue up a replay here, see if we can't see exactly what happened here with driver 99. Entering turn 3, you could just see he kind of gets sideways, gets up on the apron, and I mean, from there, you are just holding on for dear life.
Yeah, see, he's getting sideways on the entrance at turn number 3. Cold tires will do that to these machines. Cody Reed's going to get a little bit of right front damage there. I believe he's going to get away without a whole lot of issues. Joshua Kanata going to sneak by barely.
Of course he is.
On the top side. Sam Garcia Sam Garcia is going to get out of there about as good as he can, and then from there, the remainder of the field's just coming through.
That they are. Want to see if Garcia avoids these race cars. He does. Gets it pointed back in the right direction right there. We got a couple smaller hits going on back here. Moniz, 35. The 03's got a little damage on the front end. All right, Tom, well, we just talked about it. Why don't we pull up the infamous Josh cam? I'm not sure what's going on with timing and scoring right now. I'm trying to find Josh Kanata. Here we go.
Wow, that is about as close as you had, and that's kind of like a roll of a dice, Arie. Either you're on the right lane or you're on the wrong lane, and luckily he was on the right lane. Several other drivers were on the wrong lane on the inside of that wreck there.
Absolutely.
All being said, though, Arie, I don't really see anybody with any sort of terminal damage. Yeah, there's some cars with some crumpled up fenders and that kind of stuff, but overall, I would say that most of these drivers got away here without a whole lot of damage and race-ending implications.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I think we need to step away for just one moment, and I've got to fix one thing real quick that is hindering the broadcast. Let me get that sorted real quick before we go green. All right, there we go. No harm, no foul. Everything's sorted, and the lights are out on that iRacing.com pace car. We're getting doubled up one more time. Jared Talmadge in control of this race. We've got Arie Fonseca on the front row in that 24 machine. I think this time around, Tom, given once we get green, given how that last start of the race went, I think everyone's going to be a lot more wary of those cold tires entering 3.
Yeah, the challenge that this is going to provide now is that these tires now have a heat cycle on them, and that could even make them a little bit more slicker than what they were the first time, as we're going to get set to go green flag racing for the second time out here tonight.
I'm just trying to get a good look at this paint scheme right here that Jared Talmadge is driving. I know he had it last week, but
SpongeBob is falling.
Yeah, there's a lot of memes happening on this race car right now. I don't have the inside scoop here, but there's a lot of memes going on that race car.
Looks like back into the restart zone we go. Looks like the pace car has been extended an additional lap out here, and making sure that we have all the drivers in the correct place, and lights are now out this time.
There we have it. Top 5 consists of Jared Talmadge, Arie Fonseca, Thomas Green, Nolan Hicks, and last week's winner, Chris Stitz. As we currently run, biggest mover in the race thus far, Gray Walker's up 15 positions, up to P14, where he started this event. And a little bit of a follow-up from what we witnessed a little bit earlier on. Our original pole sitter, Isaac Shelley, has worked his way back up to P17. Still got some work to go. Of course, taking that penalty and starting from the back. Big beneficiary, I guess, to all of that is Jared Talmadge, who effectively gained control of the race from the start.
Yeah, going to lead some laps and get control of the race, and most importantly, get some clean air on the front of that Camaro. We'll see if he's able to control the race through this restart as well, as we are about set to go racing once again. And Arie, I don't know if there's another track that clean air is as important as it is here in Kansas.
I would tend to agree, Tom. I've won a fair few races here at Kansas taking advantage of that very thing. It's a very difficult track to make passes on outside of the initial restart. So here we go then. Jared Talmadge on the gas pedal. Now is your time to make those passes more than ever. Once we get locked into the run a little further, once those tires start wearing, it becomes very much a one-groove racetrack. Let's see what these drivers can do.
Thomas Green going to take second place away from Arie Fonseca on this restart behind leader Jared Talmadge. Arie Fonseca slots into third place with Nolan Hicks. In fourth, Chris Stitz in the top 5. just outside the top 5, you got Joshua Kanata and Ryan Kelly in a battle with Scott Richter directly behind these drivers.
All right, everyone's single filed out up front this time. A lot more chill than what we had seen previously. You got to go all the way back to 10th position to see the first side-by-side action. To the inside, it's Stephen Clapp. To the outside, Chris Stamper trying to navigate through turns 1 and 2. Stamper's going to be out of the groove just a little bit. That might bring Kralik into the picture.
See if Kralik is able to get up here and get in contention for a top 10 running position. Stamper's going to lose a spot to Stephen Clapp as Stephen takes 10th place away from Stamper as we run here working lap number 8 of tonight's event from Kansas Speedway. Up front, we got another yellow flag out, Arie.
That we do. Issues on track for Gray Walker. We just talked about Gray being the biggest mover in that initial start of the race. The 18 machine gets rolling again. Some slight damage on that car. I think I'm also seeing a little, oh yeah, a lot of damage on the 53 of Thomas Walter. See if we can't take a look and find out exactly what happened to these two coming out of turn number 4.
Got the 18 on the middle line there and the 57 up on the outside line. The green and black cars, they're going to merge here at some point. The 18 of Graham Walker is going to slide up to about the 4th lane. Thomas Walter is going to answer the call by trying to slot down just a little bit, but unfortunately Noah Steele is already there. And then there is left front to right rear contact between the 57 and the 8. And then, honestly, the 18 is just kind of in the wrong spot here at the wrong time.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, Noah Steele has been involved in both incidents so far. I'm amazed that that race car looks mostly untouched even after that hit right there.
57 going to bring that Camaro down to pit road for service as see a little smoke coming out of that car, and that's never a good sign. You do not want your car to be smoking here on iRacing, or ever, really. But the pace car has picked up the field, and, well, we're going to be about 9 laps in here, Arie. A couple of quick little green flag runs. Anybody thinking about fuel here? Anybody thinking about maybe coming down and topping up?
It's an interesting question, and we have an answer. There we go. It's going to be Chris Stitz from the top 5. The first taker brings down Ryan Kelly as well. Probably wish they brought more down with them, but this is going to give them a slight advantage on fuel. You never know when that might come into play. I don't imagine you take tires here, Tom. I think you save that set, but, you know, the fuel could certainly come into play. Just having that few extra laps can't hurt too much. You are giving up that track position, but this early in the race, it's not as big of a concern.
It's not that big of a concern, right? But you got to think, though, I mean, if some drivers have seen 2 quick cautions out here, then maybe that's more concerning than the actual track position here. So we'll see how this third restart goes.
Yeah, it's a good point. They're putting themselves in the hornet's nest now. They're going to be restarting 18th on back. Everybody who just came down to top off their fuel. We'll see what the play ends up being. They're certainly hoping that we go green for a while here on out, but we'll see. Cautions do indeed breed cautions 2 already, and we haven't even hit lap 10 until we get to the line. Up front now, it's going to be Jarrett Talmadge in control. Thomas Green moves up to P2, Ollie Fonseca in 3rd, Nolan Hicks 4th, and Josh Kanata, new name in the top 5 already, up 7 positions from where he started this race.
Should be seeing the choose rule here this time, as the top 2 leaders elect to take the inside lane here. Arie, when drivers see multiple cautions in a row like this, does it kind of put the drivers in a mindset of, we've had 2 quick cautions, there's probably another one coming, so I need to go and take the spots while the race is green here, kind of alluding to more cautions in the future?
It could very well be the case. It's kind of a toss-up, I think, in all honesty. But we will see how it's going to play out right here. I think if I'm out there on track at the moment, I'm trying to take advantage of these restarts. I'm being a little aggressive, trying to make some passes, but it's all a balancing game. I mean, you got to balance the fact that we're only 10 laps in and there's a lot of race left to go, so I'm not going to force anything too crazy, but I'm not just going to be riding. You know, I'm not going to let people go. I'm going to try and at least hold my ground.
For the third time tonight, Jared Talmadge on the inside, going to bring us back to the restart here as the lights are extinguished on that iRacing.com pace car. Going to make a hard left-hand turn down pit road and bring us into the restart zone once again. We're going to begin lap number 11 here in the Sunshine State 160.
Here we go then into the restart zone. Jared Talmadge in control, gets a bump from the 3 car just behind, and the 3 has a noticeable indent. That must have been a fair push to the rear bumper of the 27. Down into turn 1 we go. We'll see if Thomas Green can get clear in P2.
Thomas Green is going to be clear. Does he have the ability to slide up in front of the 24 Fonseca on corner exit? Yes, he does. The 05 of Richter, one of the bigger movers of tonight's event so far, currently up in 4th place as he looks to take away 3rd from Arie Fonseca.
Out of turn 4, Thomas Green's going to take that momentum to hold on to P2. Rickard in 3rd at this point, Fonseca in 4th. Everyone single filed out for the most part, but Josh Kanata looking to make moves maybe on the outside, maybe on the inside, wherever you can find room.
A lot of drivers using the inside lane through turns 1 and 2. First driver on the outside is going to be 53 of Stamper. We've seen Stamper up on the outside for the majority of the start of tonight's race. He's on the outside of Clapp in the number 9 as he's going to try to get a big run and momentum off of turn number 4. He's going to slide in front of the 9, cross the start-finish line, give 9th place to Clapp.
We got battles all over the racetrack. P2 up for grabs as Scott Rickard in the 05 wants to go chase down Jared Talmadge in the race lead, but he's got to go through Thomas Green in the 3 car, who does have that nose damage from the restart. Not entirely sure how much that's going to be affecting Thomas in the 3, but that splitter, that's the main thing I'm looking at, and that being indented just a little bit can't be helping.
Yeah, you can see right where it says the word Camaro in the front of that car right there. You can see right up in the center. That's not good. The fenders are straight on it, but he's definitely got that pushed in a little bit there. As you can see, it is a good shot here on the exit of turn number 2.
We'll keep tabs on that as we venture throughout the night, but we've got 3 wide back in the pack right now. This is going to get dicey.
Justin Smith in the middle, Ben Kinney up on the outside, Cody Reed on the inside. On the exit of turn number 4, they're going to make their way back to a 2-wide situation. Battle for about 12th place running position being led by Isaac Shelley and Justin Campbell.
And we're 3 wide again on corner entry. These guys are not giving up yet, not getting out of it yet. The 6 car is going to get sideways off of the corner, keeps it good. Great save from Justin Smith as they all figure it out now, 2x2 and a lot more manageable.
Last week's race winner, Chris Stitz, takes a look to the inside as he looks to gain 2 for 1 here. As we got more issues here, it looks like Thomas Green is on pit road. Maybe to get some damage done, but these battles back here not going away anytime soon. Chris Stitz has made his way around those 2 drivers in front of him. He's got Clint Cox directly in his sights.
Yeah, it could certainly have been a handling issue for Thomas Green in the 3 car. We will continue to monitor that situation. Little further back up the pack, P7 on track is the 01 Aaron Krolick, under pressure from Chris Stamper in the 53. Looking to make his way up towards the front. You can see the field starting to get a little more spread out now, and the implications of this are always going to be a little bigger when there's no stage breaks to look forward to, and you've got to assume that there's a chance that there are no more cautions the rest of the way.
Yeah, and that's got to be in the back of everybody's mind. Likely? No. Possible? Absolutely. As, you come down to a green flag stop here, and if you're not within, a couple of seconds of the race leader, you need to really flip your strategy to try to get ahead of those green flag pit stops. But we're again 3 wide with Josh Stovall, Cody Reed, and Clint Cox.
Tell you what, these drivers are not afraid to make it a 3-wide battle here at the Kansas Speedway. They are going for it. Cody Reed all the way down to the inside, trying to single-handedly win this battle, and he does so from arguably the trickiest spot to make it happen. We see Isaac Shelley in the 98. He's up into P11 now, the original pole sitter. We'll see what he can do as he makes his way up towards the front. But it looks like these drivers have mostly gotten it sorted out, and we've got another battle going on for P3 as Arie Fonseca is under pressure from the Taco Bell machine.
Nolan Hicks takes a look to the back bumper of that number 24 Camaro on the entry into turn number 3 down here. Joshua Kanata directly behind these drivers as they race for a third place running position. Nolan Hicks has had a quiet start to his race out here tonight. Currently runs in 4th, started 4th, looking to improve.
Riding on board now with driver 86. Nolan Hicks currently in 4th, trying to chase down P3 at the moment, but we're still pretty early on with these tires, all things considered. Working lap 20 at the moment, though we have had 2 cautions worth of pace laps. You can start to hear the right side tires squealing a little bit through the corners as we ride on board with Hicks going down the front straightaway. A straightaway right here. He's closing into the back end of Fonseca, but as so long as that 24 car is taking the same line, this is that dirty air issue that's going to be oh so prevalent here.
People like to use the outside lane here, Arie, but you almost kind of need somebody directly behind you pushing you to make the momentum and make the draft work up on the outside lane. In iRacing, you can certainly use the outside lane, but depending on the track that you're at, maybe it's a little bit of a disadvantage at times, unless you're defending a position here, like maybe a battle that we're taking a look at Aaron and Justin here on the inside of turn number 1. You can defend really well up on the outside, but it is difficult to make a pass.
Yeah, well said, and certainly the case as we see Justin Campbell move on up to P7. Got that move done on Kralik in the 0-1. Battles all throughout the field still going on. We're 2 by with Cody Reed, and I was at the 53 of Chris Stamper, who seems to be moving backwards.
Yeah, Stamper started 18th out here tonight, so a net gain of +8 so far. But from the restart, sliding backwards just a little bit in a controlled slide as he's going to lose 10th place to the 25 Supra of Cody Reed. He's got teammate Clint Cox directly behind him, but before he sees that, he's got to take a look down to the inside of Reed and try to take a 10th place spot back away.
Not ready to give up the fight yet. We are in the Hornet's Nest right here. These two defending from that pack just behind, and those guys are getting dicey with one another. As Stamper's got teammate in tow, Clint Cox, trying to bring some backup into the fold. Everyone's going to get single filed out for the most part. And back to riding and setting up some moves. A little further up, Josh Kanata at the moment, defending from Jesse Thornick. Battle for P5 on track, and Thornick looking to try and find anywhere to stick that nose in.
He's going to drop down to the apron and take a look on the inside to the left side quarter panel of the 16 of Kanata and try to take the pass on the entry into turn number 1. He may be clear here on the exit. Nope, not going to be able to do it. The 16 going to have the momentum on the corner exit.
Kanata's going to defend that time successfully, heads down into turn 3, going to take that air off of the nose of the 14. That 14 car is going to get a little tight on corner exit right here. Has to get out of it just a little bit. He's going to try and use that draft to pull himself back in, but he's going to have to wait at least another half a lap to set up. The next move gets into the wall on corner entry right there. Very easy to do at Kansas. A little further back, the Hornet's Nest is heating up as we've got Stovall and Shelley making their way around Clint Cox at the moment.
Clint Cox up on the outside there. Isaac Shelley continuing to try to march his way back forward. Won the original pole position out here tonight. Had to take an end of longest line penalty to start the race. A couple of quick cautions and some speed in that 98 Supra. Finds himself up into the 13th place running position as they run right now as we begin lap number 28. But he's got a field of drivers directly behind him looking to take that spot back away.
Great shot here from onboard Josh Stovall in the 1, looking back at the battle just behind. Shelley, Cox, Stitz, and even Steele entering the picture. Back there, everyone taking their different lines, all kind of half a lane up from one another, looking for any clean air that they can get. Stovall trying to run away from them, but when you're the lead car right here and you don't have somebody too close in front of you to pull the draft off of, all of a sudden you become the one pushing all the air out of the way, and everyone behind you can stick right there with you.
On board with Chris Stitz in the number 17 as he's going to take a big run on the exit of turn number 2. He's going to try to make a pass on Clint Cox. This is going to be for 14th out here. He's got Noah Steele directly in tow as Noah Steele pushes him down into the corner, maybe a little bit more than he wanted, and that's going to get the 17 a little off center in the corner there, but he's going to be able to carry on without issue, and we may be 3 wide here with Noah Steele, Chris Stitz, and Clint Cox in just a moment.
Could very well be the case. That A car not ready to give up yet. Noah Steele involved in both cautions so far. Not of the A cars doing somehow, still rolling somehow. Clean race car looking to make moves on up, back on up through the field. Is the A car. He's going to keep that position ahead of Steele. He's going to start looking to make the pass on Cox a little further up. This battle's starting to heat up right here. Josh Kanata's been holding on to P5, and it was just from Jesse Thornick, but now Justin Campbell entering the picture, trying to make this a multi-car battle for that top 5 position.
A 2-car battle has turned into a 4-car battle for a top 5 running position, as Justin Campbell's going to take a look onto the inside of Jesse Thornock on the entry into turn number 3, but he may be bringing Kralik along with him here in the 0-1.
Could very well be the case as these drivers make the run across the line. Campbell in the 2 looks to be very quick right now, making moves through the field. One of the drivers who topped off on fuel, as a matter of fact, now back up to P6. So definitely been making some passes, definitely got a fast race car out here tonight.
Yeah, it's something that I was just going to bring up, Arie. So currently working lap number 32, a couple of drivers, Justin Campbell, one of the drivers that did stop for fuel, Cody Reed stopped for fuel, Noah Steele, Clint Cox, Chris Stitz, Sam Garcia, all those drivers stopped for fuel. So they've got anywhere between, say, 5 and 10 laps more than the race leaders, so the top 12 really. That's really where that line in the sand is. So the top 12, with the exception of Justin Campbell, did not come down for fuel, and everybody below it going to have a little bit more gas in the tank than these leaders.
Seems to be the case. Taking a look at the 16, getting very sideways through the corner, gets it saved. Good driving from Josh Kanata. He's going to give up that position to Kralik in the 0-1. Is going to have all that momentum down the front straightaway. And just like that, Kanata has fallen 2 positions in about 1 lap's time. We go back into what was the Hornet's Nest. We could see our pole sitter tonight, Isaac Shelley in the 98. Rim riding that high line right here. Going to have a lot of momentum on Chris Stamper down the back straightaway.
Really been an impressive opening run for the 98 Arie. I realized that we've had 2 quick cautions to start the race, but we were talking about just how difficult it is to improve your running position here, especially at Kansas. As you see, he's stuck down on the inside there, not able to slide up in front of the 53 a Stamper, not able to slide up just yet. He was able to make his way up to about 17th on those restarts. So even still, as it runs right now, he's up a couple of spots on this most recent restart.
Yeah, great call on that shout out there for driver 98. One more pass and he'll be into the top 10, but he's going to have to go through Cody Reed to get there. A little bit of a recap so far in the event. We've had 2 cautions early on. Our race leader at the moment, I don't think anyone's surprised to see Jarrett Talmadge in the 27 out in front by, was that about 1.5 seconds? Just having a lovely little cruise at the moment, working lap 36. Scott Richter in the 0-5, a driver up 12 positions from where he started this race, Tom. Currently runs in P2, and he is looking very comfortable as well. Ollie Fonseca in 3rd has been trying to close the gap on Rickard in P2. He's been faster on some laps. It evens out on other laps. We'll see as these tires continue to wear what Fonseca can do. Nolan Hicks in 4th in the Taco Bell machine. He's been having a great showing so far. And then, of course, running out the top 5, Justin Campbell, who we just saw make a couple more passes. That 2-car almost, I want to say, is in the conversation for most impressive so far tonight, having made that pit stop to top off and already gotten himself back into the top 5.
On the flip side of that coin, Arie, a couple of drivers out of tonight's race. You got the 57 of Thomas Walters, 7 of Cedric Hunter. Thomas Green came down onto pit road to get some damage repaired on the front end of the Camaro from that restart, and some other drivers going the wrong way. Mike Miller down 14 positions from his starting spot.
Looks like Isaac Shelley did indeed make that move into the top 10. Shelley, one of the only drivers that I see riding that outside line at the moment, Tom, as these tires continue to wear. Usually that outside line becomes less of a preferred line on those older tires. You can really get away with it when everything's new, but when you get those older tires going, it just feels harder and harder to make that outside line work. So the fact that the 98 can do so effectively this far into the run is pretty surprising.
Josh Stovall's also making the outside work pretty well, as he's got pressure from Noah Steele directly underneath him here. I think Noah may have the opportunity to clear himself on the corner exit. Maybe not just yet. Still able to carry that momentum. So Stovall able to use that line as well. Got to take a look over here at the battle for second place. Arie Fonseca has closed up to the back of Richter as he looks to take away second place running position. While all this is happening, Jared Tomic has opened up just under a 2-second lead.
That's right, and now the 27 car is going to be pulling even more of an advantage the longer that these two battle. Fonseca is going to be hoping he can make this move happen ASAP. He doesn't want the 27 to get too far ahead of him. He's going to pin it on that inside line right here, but Richter puts it wisely right in the middle. Going to make sure that the 24 doesn't have a lot of racetrack to work with here, but they're going to enter turn one about dead even.
Nose to door on the entry into turn number one. Arie Fonseca on the inside, Rickard on the outside. And don't look now, but you got Nolan Hicks not too far behind this camera shot as well, as he may come into camera frame and into contention for second place if these drivers continue to race like this over the next lap or two. Fonseca going to be clear off of turn number 4, but does Rickard have an opportunity for a crossover?
Doesn't look like it. Rickard gets really tight as the 24 slides across, taking that air off of the nose. On the back straightaway, Rickard lost a lot of momentum getting into the wall a couple times, and that, I think, is what did it. As we see drivers start to enter pit road, Clint Cox in the 0-3 going to be the first to bite for what should be a scheduled pit stop.
Scheduled pit stop as drivers sideways on the exit of turn number 2. Stephen Clapp, he's going to get passed by Jesse Thornock. Big moments for the number 9. As we caught that a little bit late there, but drivers may start to be thinking about their fuel stop here. We're 43 laps into tonight's race with a couple of caution flags. So you got to imagine fuel probably somewhere around 40 laps if you take out all those caution laps.
Yeah, we should see a bunch of drivers start to dive down on pit road, and it'll be interesting to see what the drivers who topped off on fuel elect to do. Are they going to run it all the way out, trying to take that advantage that they have? Of course, that'll put them behind the 8 ball. Once it all cycles out, they'll be losing a little bit of track time, but then they'll have the better tires. So kind of offsetting themselves strategy-wise could play out further down the line as this race unfolds. Now, I've been watching the 17 of Stitz the past couple of corners, Tom. Is it just me, or does the rear end of that race car look so unstable?
I would say the exact same thing. I saw it in turns 3 and 4, and he was certainly sideways. As looks like he's going to have a pretty steady exit right there. But yeah, that 17 is not handling too well right now. That 9 is not handling too well right now. Starting to see some tire degradation on these O'Reilly Auto Parts cars. As another driver, is that Jesse Thornock coming down onto pit road?
That it is. Thornock in that Ford Mustang gets it woed up just in time to make the long trip down pit lane, and we jump back up front. Well, third place at the moment, which is about to become a 3-car race between Rickard, Hicks, and Campbell.
Arie Fonseca has taken away second place from Scott Rickard. Nolan Hicks and now tries to take away third place from Scott as well as they cross the start-finish line. They're going to bring Justin Campbell into the camera frame and into the conversation here for a 3-car battle for third place here. Justin Campbell's kind of been up and down throughout the night, had a strong showing last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and trying to continue his hunt out here tonight to pick up another top 5, another win out here this season.
Down to the inside goes Justin Campbell, complete opposite part of the corner as what Rickard is running all the way up at the fence. He's going to make that move stick off the corner. Impressive run from the 2 of Campbell to get there in time to stop the momentum. Now Hicks, the big winner here in the 86, he moves up to P3. He's got a couple car lengths over Campbell, but all this time Campbell has been closing in not only on these guys but on the race leader of Jared Talmadge. That 2-car through this first run, Tom, may very well be the fastest car on track, if not up there with the 27.
Yeah, last time by, Justin Campbell a little bit faster than the race leader. Was about 5/100ths faster than Jared Talmadge in the clean air up there. So, issues up ahead. You got Arie Fonseca and the
Eddie Donahue.
P12 of Eddie Donahue. They came together on the entrance to turn number 1 as they were working away around lap traffic.
That they do, and that 12 car's got some suspension damage on the right front. You can see just how far off the pace he is unable to get that car pointed where he wants to point it. I wonder if he's going to come down anytime soon. He's struggling to get off the corner right there in the wall again. That's some significant right front damage. Something to monitor for the 12 car for sure. A little further back in the pack, Justin Smith in the 6 car is on pit road. We have yet to see the big wave of drivers start making their way on down. Curious as to when we're going to see it. And I tell you what, Tom, given how long everyone's staying out, that makes me pretty concerned for the drivers who did already pit. Clint Cox, Jesse Thornick, Thomas Green, and the rest. Drivers who very well, you know, may have hindered themselves coming down so early.
Yeah, I mean, we're taking a look. You got to go back to Clint Cox back in 23rd place, and it has been 9 laps since we have seen him come down on pit road. A couple of other drivers, Justin Smith, Mark Lebertone, Jesse Thornock, those drivers came down on lap number 44, so you're working anywhere between 5 and 6 laps as they continue to tick off, make it 7 here as they come across the start-finish line one more time. But yeah, this makes me think that there may be some altering strategies out here, Arie, but it's difficult to make a different strategy work. Oh, never mind.
Yellow flag is out, and it's for driver 50, Samuel Garcia, in what looks to be a clean race car, parked at the start-finish line, and we're going to need to take a look right here. This will surely bring everybody down onto the pit lane, and it looks like he was already sideways. Let's see if we can't pull up another view from a little earlier on and catch what happened here.
Sam Garcia following the one of Josh Stovall down the backstretch here. See if there's any sort of contact or if this is just tires not agreeing with that Supra. Oh, you know what? He's gonna have to get out of the gas here a little bit for Eddie Donahue. Maybe make a little bit of contact. There is contact there with the lap vehicle, and that is going to send Sam for a ride. But the good news is that there's no real damage on the side of that 50 machine, and he's going to be able to carry on, maybe with just a bruised set of tires.
Yeah, great job keeping it out of the outside wall right there for the 50. That could have been significantly worse. And I tell you what, I would love to get an onboard shot as well from Samuel Garcia, just to kind of illustrate just how scary this is coming out of the corner.
Yeah, you see the closing rate there, probably 20-25 miles an hour. You see the closing rate there. Sam doesn't really do anything wrong there. Eddie honestly didn't even really do anything wrong there. I think he was just so off speed that
yeah,
you know, he didn't swerve down. Nobody really changed lanes. They just kind of came together there.
Yeah, it was just catching the lap down car at a very bad time, I think. And
Isaac Shelley gonna slide through the box.
Oh, not good for the 98 who had made his way up through the field so many positions already. We're gonna see what this race off pit road looks like. Got to take these opportunities under a yellow. You got to nail these pit stops. You don't get any guaranteed cautions here with no stages, so do your best to nail these pit stops. The 98's going to lose out big time on that one, down to P12 on pit exit. Up front, it looks like the positions have remained mostly the same. Scott Richter jumps ahead of Hicks in the 86. Justin Campbell is in P2 at the exit of pit road right there, so we'll see what Campbell can do now that he's got eyes on clean air.
While we're under caution out here tonight for the 3rd time, want to give a quick shout out to the title sponsor, that is Larry Arts Production. It's a comedy variety YouTube channel with content ranging stop motion videos, vlogs, live streams, and more. Check out all the insanity that Larry produces on YouTube today. Head on over to Larry Arts Productions and take a look at their channel, subscribe to it, and get notified every time they post new content. Been a lot of fun to have them on board and help keep the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network here at the Trinity Racing League on Monday evenings.
All right, waiver rounds being had, free pass given out, and we will get ready to restack, repack. Lights are out on the iRacing.com pace car as the field is in the hands of Jared Talmadge, Justin Campbell. Row 2 is going to consist of Arie Fonseca and Scott Richter. A little further back, we've got Nolan Hicks, Josh Kanata, Aaron Kralik, and Ryan Kelly, a name we haven't seen all too much. Nova Steele into the top 10, and Chris Stitz, last week's winner, slowly chipping away at it.
Yeah, something we haven't really talked about a whole lot, we kind of alluded to it earlier, is that drivers that win a race are going to advance themselves into the playoffs here beginning in the middle of April. Jarrett Talmadge, after Atlanta, he is currently 11th in the point standings. Looks to pick up some bonus points out here tonight to advance, but the easiest way into the playoffs, Arie, you and I both know, is just to win the race.
Yeah, absolutely. If you do that, you don't have to sweat it anymore. As across the line this time, it's going to be choose rule time for these drivers. Where do they elect to go for the restart here? Oh, they might have already chosen.
Lights are extinguished off the iRacing.com pace car as we expect to go green flag racing at the end of this pace lap here. It is Jarrett Talmadge up front, as it has been from the start of the race. Justin Campbell on the outside, Arie Fonseca on the inside of row number 2, it looks like, as they try to get into the proper positions here. Scott Richter in 4th in the top 5 is rounded out by Nolan Hicks. Maybe a little bit of confusion here on the inside lane here. Looks like Ollie may be saying, I had the inside.
I'm not entirely sure here, Tom. Maybe it's just... Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what we're seeing out of Fonseca at the moment. Maybe some fuel saving, but you don't usually do that kind of fuel saving unless you're, like, on an empty tank. So I don't know. Anyway, lights are out on the pace car. We're going racing this time by Talmadge in the 27. Is going to have control on this restart. But keep your eyes on that too with Justin Campbell now that he's up here in the picture. We'll see what he can do.
Campbell up on the outside, Talmadge on the inside. Into the restart zone we go for the 3rd time out here tonight. Barney's going to send us on our way. Justin Campbell gets a great restart up onto the outside and may be have an advantage down into turn number 1 as he is still side by side with the race leaders. Great restart from the outside.
That he had, but that inside line has such an advantage on the restart. Hold it full throttle through there. The 2 cars got away. He can't go to the inside because Fonseca's there. He looks to the outside of Talmadge. Anywhere there's room to try and go up there and get the race lead, he's going to run it full throttle all the way through 3 and 4. Keep it pinned. He wants to get this track position. It's oh so important to Kansas. They're going to beat and bang to the line. It's still Talmadge.
Would have been a photo finish if the race ended right there. Talmadge on the inside, Campbell up on the outside. The momentum of the 2 probably going to prevail here as we're going to have a new race leader for the first time out here this evening. Put Justin Campbell in the 2 to the race lead. Jarrett Talmadge able to slot back into 2nd in front of the 24 Fonseca.
All right, so that's one battle that is settled out. Nolan Hicks in the 86. Wants around Fonseca. If he can find the way, he's going to be putting pressure on the rear bumper of the 24, and the 24 might fancy a shot at Talmadge now that he's been brought back into the fold here. His 2 to 3 second lead, null and void at the time of caution. See what these drivers can do. You can see Fonseca playing around with the outside line right there, trying to get a good run down the back straightaway, and he's going to take it down into turn 3 to the inside.
Going to be interesting here to see how Jarrett Talmadge reacts to having dirty air on the front nose of that car for the first time out here tonight, as he was just passed by Justin Campbell a lap or 2 ago. Already under pressure from Fonseca for 2nd place, and it looks like Ollie may be able to take 2nd place away here if he's able to slide up. He's going to try to slide up, and he's going to make the pass for 2nd place, but here comes the 27 back with the crossover.
To the inside goes Talmadge. How hard are they willing to fight it? Caution's going to come out, as a matter of fact. And it looks like Ben Kinney is the driver in question in the 51. Some left rear damage. I do believe that caution comes out at a time where Talmadge is down to 3rd place. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, let's take a look, see what happens to the 51. So we're in turns. Is this 1 and 2 here, directly in front of Stovall.
3 wide. 51's all he must have had to have checked up in turn 2 right there. He gets sideways here. We'll get another view. He's gonna bounce off of both cars like a ping pong ball. The 0-3 Clint Cox gonna get a little piece of this, and finish off the 51 as it were. Down to the inside. 0-3 gets a couple hits right there. He might have some damage to take a look at. Let's see if we can't see what kind of a hit we get to the inside wall here for Kinney in the 51. Negligible at that. Let's see if we can't get one more view here. Maybe we'll get it from the blimp.
Yeah, he definitely goes around the nose off of the 0-3 of Clint Cox directly behind him here. Now, what kind of sends him back there? It looks like there's contact between the one of Stovall and Ben Kinney. That's going to get him sideways. Clint Cox, unfortunately, just really nowhere to go. And does a nice job of getting the car stopped down here to make very minimal contact with the inside wall.
Yeah, I agree. Up front, everyone's going to be staying out, though we do have takers on pit road. Mike Miller, Josh Stovall, Clint Cox, Sam Dyer, Mark Labertone, Ben Kinney, all on pit road, as is Justin Smith in the 6 car. Drivers on the lead lap as we run. There looks to be about 24 drivers on the lead lap at this point in the race, working lap 60.
Just under halfway through tonight's event from Kansas Speedway. Again, next week we're going to be live here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. We're going to be live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're going to be at the Brickyard for 80 laps next Monday night, followed by Red Bull Ring at the road course that Arie keeps telling me is a good road course. We'll see about that. Michigan International Speedway brings us into the month of February before we have our first off week on February 16th.
I tell you what, listen, I know my road course opinion might not mean much to you because Sonoma is my favorite, but listen, Red Bull Ring, it's a great road course. I've never seen stock cars on it, but I think it's a good contender for a good stock car road course race. I think we'll see. It should be a pretty fast-flowing type circuit, so I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, as the season goes along here, Arie, there's a couple of tracks on here that you're maybe not used to seeing stock cars on, and one of them is Motegi as well.
Oh, don't remind me of that place.
Sounds like you've had a bad experience there.
I raced there one time ever, and I regret having showed up to that race. It was... I don't enjoy that racetrack, Tom.
Field is reset, and the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. New front row this time. Justin Campbell on the inside, Ali Fonseca on the outside. Jarrett Talmadge finds himself back in third after leading the majority of the opening portions of tonight's race. Nolan Hickson fourth. Ryan Kelly rounds out the top 5 as we get set to go racing once again here in the Sunflower State 160.
All right. For the first time tonight, Jarrett Talmadge not in control of the start. He is going to have the advantage of being right behind the race leader on the start, so if he can get a good jump on the restart right here, he might have a shot at P2. We'll see what Fonseca can do on the outside. This last restart, Campbell took the lead after starting P2 on the outside. Timed that restart perfectly, so here we go then. Pace car is going to take that hard left-hand turn, and towards the restart zone we roll.
Barney's going to send us on our way once again here to bring us back to green flag racing. Justin Campbell on the inside. He's going to hit the loud pedal and slide up in front of the 24 as they cross the start-finish line. Solid lead for the 2 of Justin Campbell. Ali Fonseca maybe under pressure from the 27 of Talmadge. They're going to single file out before they get into turn number 1.
They're all single filed up through the top 5, and Rickard's going to slide in to make it 6, 7, 8 cars side by side. But up front, here comes Fonseca looking for the race lead.
Fonseca on the inside of Justin Campbell, going to make the pass and clear himself off of turn number 4, put the 24 to the point, and a lap led to Fonseca as he crosses the start-finish line to give us lap number 63 in the books to begin 64.
All right, racer 24 now up front. We know in that first long run that Fonseca ran up towards the front in the top 3 for the better part of it. Went up there and took second place away about halfway through that run. Let's see what he can do from first place. And a little further back, that Hornet's Nest, it's heating up.
Stephen Clapp on the inside of Aaron Kralik, able to make his way around Kralik under pressure from Thornock and Chris Stamper up on the outside. Directly behind them, you got Josh Stovall, Dakota Moniz running kind of mid-pack right here. Kind of quiet nights for these drivers back here. Expected to see Dakota running a little bit closer up towards the front. It looks like he started about 25th out here tonight and has been struggling to get that 5 machine forward.
Up 8 positions in P17. A lot more to go. We'll keep eyes on Moniz in the 5 a little further up. It looks like the top 2 They have started to break away just a little bit, and this battle might not be over yet. I don't think Campbell is comfortable settling for P2.
Definitely not comfortable settling for position number 2, because they have got Ryan Kelly up on the outside with a power move, as he's going to try to take away 3rd place from the 27 Atomage, and he may just be able to do it. Put the 13, who was in contention last week, he is on the same tires here, Arie, but it looks like he's got such an advantage on the outside.
He's on rails. I think this could be just a situation where he's deciding that he wants to use some of those tires now and maybe pay the price a little later, but maybe get the track position and worry about it when that time comes. He's bringing the 17 of Chris Stitz along with him, by the way, who's now up to P4. Last week's winner is now up and ahead of the 27 as well. Down into the corner to the inside of Campbell. See, we can kind of see the difference here where Fonseca and Campbell, they were running at a certain pace, still trying to manage their tires, and now I think we see the 13 and the 17, they're saying, hey, you know what, guys, you could save your tires. I want to get the track position, and then I'll worry about it.
I do think Fonseca is trying to pick up the pace just a little bit, but it may be a little bit too late here for the battle for the race lead. Fonseca going to slide up on front of the 13 of Kelly on the exit of turn number 2 and protect the race lead and protect that clean air on the front end of that 24 machine. He saw that 13 and the 17 coming, and he said it is about time I hit the loud tone as well.
Out of turn 4, much bigger gap this time. We'll see what Kelly can do down the front straightaway, closing back in and looking for the move for the race lead. Has not quite gotten there yet, but he's got the 17 car in tow. 2 new names to the top 5. Looking to make a run at controlling this race, and a little further back, the 27's got his hands full right now, Tom, with Scott Richter in the 05, and we know Scott's got a good short-run race car based on the start of the race.
Yeah, Rickard up on the outside, Jarrett Talmadge on the inside. Gotta wonder which one of these 2 drivers, or both, may be saving their tires, as they're gonna have Nolan Hicks start to come into the camera frame, but a little bit of separation between the we'll call it about the 4th place running car and the 5th place running car now, as they've kind of broken out into a couple of 2 little packs as we continue green flag racing.
A lot of close action happening out on the racetrack right now. We're going to be working lap 70 at the line as these 2 continue to go side by side. The top 4 all single filed out. These 2 cannot get away from each other. They might bring Nolan Hicks into the fold, and we may get some 3 wide action. Got
Noah Steele directly in this mix as well. Noah has been trying to make his way forward. Had a couple of early race incidents, nothing race ending, nothing race damaging, but in solidly inside the top 10 as they run right now. But Jared Talmadge and Scott Rickard, the battle that we're looking at, the closest battle out on track, this is the battle for the 5th place running position as they come. But Nolan Hicks directly behind him. I think if he gets the opportunity, we may see a 3 wide spot here. I don't know if the 86 is content just to ride right here until they figure it out in front of him.
I don't think so either, and I don't think he'll be afraid to make a 3 wide move if the opportunity presents itself. Man, these guys just cannot get away from each other. We got a move for the race lead. To the outside goes Ryan Kelly in the 13. Can't make a stick because Fonseca drives it in, and you could see just how far he drove it in, Tom. He might get into the wall. He does get into the wall, trying to hold on to the inside. That gives up 1, maybe 2 positions.
Chris Stitz takes the look to the inside of the 24, tries to take advantage of the error by Fonseca on the exit at turn number 4, and tries to take 2nd place away. Not going to be able to do it just yet. He's going to need some help from his friends if he wants to make it his way around the 24, but big issues for the 24. That was a pretty good lick there on the exit of 4 there, Arie, for the 24.
That it was.
Let's take a look on the right side.
It certainly was. I don't see anything too noticeable for the 24. I think the biggest difference was the loss in momentum right there. It looks pretty clean. I tell you what, this looks to be the race to the halfway bonus here, which is coming in just about 6 or 7 laps. Ryan Kelly now in the race lead. To the outside is Fonseca for P2. Chris Stitz in the 17 to the inside, trying to make his way back, or make his way up into the picture for the first time tonight. Last week's winner and our points leader at the moment, looking for more.
Drivers looking for a bonus point at the halfway mark, and I have lost my fair share of playoff spots by 1 point, so that 1 bonus point could be so important once the playoffs roll around. Chris Stitz is able to make his way around the 24 of Fonseca, as Fonseca is going to slot in front of the 2 of Campbell. put the top three as Kelly, Stitz, and Fonseca as they won.
They have all single filed out at the moment. The battle further back with Talmadge and Richter has settled out as Richter got the advantage. He's trying to close in on these top four and make it a top five. You can see the gap he's starting to form a little to the right on your screen right here. Up front, I don't know if these guys can do anything with the 13 at the moment, but let's not forget, Tom, that Kelly and Stitz both noticeably used up more of their race cars to make this happen. So at what point do we start hitting that fall off cliff, and do we see the 24 and the 2 start to look a lot stronger?
You see Stitz, and Stitz was one of those drivers on the previous run here, Arie, that we saw have a lot of tire wear throughout the longer run. So we'll see if this continues to happen for the 17, but the 13 leading right now as they come across the start-finish line down into turn number 1. And Ryan Kelly was really strong last week at Echo Park. Had a late race incident that kind of hindered him from getting a win, but looking good out here tonight. And I like the opportunity for him to use up a little bit of the tires here. Does it come back and hurt him long run? Maybe, but overall, if it's a net gain, it's a win.
Yeah, a net gain is always going to be a net gain at the end of the day, and sometimes you gotta pull a rabbit out of the hat. You gotta make something crazy like this work, and it could very well, because once you get that track position, sure, your tires might end up being worse, but if they're not bad enough, you can still defend for position, especially at a track where it's so hard to pass, a track where the dirty air is so prevalent like Kansas Speedway. The 13 and the 17 could have put themselves in position where their tires are worse off, their handling's a little worse. Maybe the 24 and the 2 are faster, but if they're not that much faster, you can't really make the move. Getting there and making the move, two different things.
Yeah, and as the race begins to stretch out a little bit, it's going to be harder and harder because drivers can't take 2 spots in the same corner anymore the longer this race gets stretched out. So it's going to make them use their tires a little bit more. So I still do like it for the 13. I like it for the 17 as we are going to begin lap number 80 for a bonus point out here tonight for the halfway bonus sponsor.
Across the line, Campbell looking for P3 on Fonseca, who seems to be nice and comfortable riding at the pace that he is. Driver 24, Campbell wants to maybe get around, move on up, and be in the catbird seat for if those top 2 start to experience some significant tire fall off. We're going to see how this plays out down into turn 3. The 2 car 1 lane below the 24. He's got that clean air on the nose. Not going to get there this time. And at the line, driver 13, Ryan Kelly, is going to lead at halfway and secure the Apex 50 halfway bonus. Shout out to Apex 50. Looking for fun and relatable sim racing content? SG_racing has you covered. Check out Sam Garcia's Apex 50 on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. Give you a little update on Sammy Garcia. Was involved in that last yellow. Currently runs a P16. Does driver 50. Still out on track in a mostly undamaged race car.
We begin the second half of tonight's race with Justin Campbell all over the back of the 24 Fonseca as the battle for the race lead and the battle for third place starting to heat up. But Scott Richter has kind of been kind of a quiet name out here tonight. Always up there inside the top 5, top 7 when we're looking at him, but not really challenging for the lead just yet.
Yeah, he's certainly been a top 5 driver on pace tonight. We saw him fall off in the back half of that first run right there, so we'll see how he manages the tires getting a little older this time around. We know that short run speed he's got. We know how much he battled the 27 of Talmadge to get that position around him a little earlier on, so we'll be monitoring Richter there, but we know he's quick. And here comes Campbell to the inside. He may have had enough for a side draft, decides to tuck back in line for one more time.
He's going to take a look down onto the inside of the 24. Don't believe he's going to be able to make the pass happen this corner, but he may be able to use a little bit of side draft on the long front stretch here to set himself up for a turn 1 pass. And oh yeah, by the way, that 27 that lost a bunch of spots on the restart, he's now back up inside the top 5.
That he is, as he works over Scott Richter. The 2 car is going to send the slide job across the front of the 24. It's going to stick. Move Campbell up to P3 at the moment, looking to chase down the top 2, Kelly and Stitz. move Fonseca back to 4th, and that 27, to your point, starting to move back up towards the front.
Take a look at the last lap times for the race leaders. 32.0 for Ryan Kelly, 32.1 for second place as they update here. 32.1 for Ryan Kelly. Fastest car inside the top 5 right now, but Talmadge, second fastest, running in 5th.
That's right. I was wondering when we would see that switch flipped out of the 27. I had a feeling he was giving up some track position, trying to keep those tires in tow. He didn't want to get lured into battling too hard too early, especially in a race where there's no guaranteed stage breaks to look forward to. So we'll see that 27 start to make his way up towards the top 4 right here. He's going to be bringing the 86 of Hicks with him, who also got around Scott Richter and has been right on that rear bumper of the 27, both perhaps having saved enough tire for this point exactly.
Yeah, the 86 is staying strong out here tonight. Another driver that's staying strong long into the green flag run is the 8 of Noah Steele, as we see Scott Richter beginning to slide back here just a little bit, working lap number 86. Last time we saw these cars on pit road was lap number 52 for the majority of them. A couple of cars came down lap number 60 underneath the caution involving, I want to say it was Sam Garcia. So the majority of these drivers working about 35, 36 laps on the current tires that they're working.
And here we go then. Justin Campbell takes over P2 away from Chris Stitz in the 17. Now that 2 car has the race leader square in his sights. Can he go catch the 17's teammate Ryan Kelly out front, who has been leading since just before the halfway point in this race? Campbell kept those tires underneath him, didn't go up there, didn't battle too hard early on, and now it's playing into his hands as we see a little further back. The 27 starting to put big pressure on Fonseca.
Fonseca's going to slide up half a lane. That's going to allow the 27 of Talmadge to take a look onto the inside into turn number 3. I tell you, if this 27 gets back up front here, Arie, we could be in trouble for the second half and the closing laps of tonight's races. We are now past halfway in the Sunflower State 160. Put Jarrett Talmadge back up to 4th place as he's able to clear the 24.
There we go then. Talmadge in P4 now looking at the 17 ahead, who he knows just lost a position. That 17 slightly on the back foot now, paying the price for using those tires up a little early. We're going to see Hicks in the 86 start to set up the 24 as well. Meanwhile, up front, the 13 has company because Justin Campbell has been running faster laps, and he is there.
He is there. He has closed up to the back bumper of the 13 of Ryan Kelly. And that lead that was 0.3 a lap ago has now closed into just over a 1/10 as we work lap number 90 of 160 out here. We'll see 70 laps to go in tonight's race. Justin Campbell looking to take the lead from Ryan Kelly, but here comes once again the 27 of Talmadge.
Talmadge to the inside of Stitz in the 17. He looks to make this move stick. He should get there through 3 and 4. 17 on the high side, not going to have enough to keep it there. Fonseca on the high side going to lose out to Hicks in the 86 as well. And here we go then. The move for the race lead to cap off this trio of position swaps. Can Campbell get there this time? Kelly's going to defend, rim riding the outside line. That's going to give him the momentum down the back straightaway. Pull that side draft from the 2 car, and they're going to enter about dead even, but Campbell should have it here. He dives it in deep, and he'll be able to slide up right in front.
New race leader, give it to Justin Campbell, that Toyota Supra, as he's going to lead a lap out here tonight and get a bonus point for that number 2 Toyota Supra for Justin Campbell. Now it's going to be interesting to see here, Arie. So the 27 has been coming. How much does Justin pull away here versus how fast Jarrett, was closing in the previous laps?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think if you're Campbell, the biggest thing was getting clean air. Now, you are the driver with clean air. You know you have a little more speed than the 13, so you can probably defend from the 27 a little better than these other guys are able. Right now, you're just going to be settling in, finding your rhythm, hitting your marks. So I don't think you're going to be pushing particularly hard. I don't think you're going to be saving particularly hard. I think you're going to find that line, and you're going to kind of balance yourself on that line as well as you can, lap in, lap out.
From the back end of the number 2 Supra, as we take a look at the battle now for second between Ryan Kelly and Jarrett Talmadge. They're going to come down into turn number 3, and Jarrett Talmadge all over the back of Ryan Kelly as they come around. Justin's been able to open up just under half a second here in a lap or two over Ryan Kelly. I am going to be interested to follow the battle between the 27 and the 13. Once the 27 gets around Ryan Kelly here, what does he do and how much does he push to close that gap? Because remember, we were talking about it earlier, you need to be within a second or so of the race leaders if you do see a green flag pit stop.
Absolutely, you want to be as close as you can, and man, one thing I'm noticing here is that the 13 has really been able to keep that 27 back longer than I would have anticipated. He's finally going to look to the inside here, but Talmadge not going to be in the best position having been behind the 13 like he was for so many laps. The 13 is going to fight this off of turn 2 right here, have that momentum down the back straightaway, and he is going to pull just ahead by corner entry. How deep does Jarrett send it in the 27? He's going to send it in real far, enough to slide up in front of the 13, who's trying to ride that outside line, but he's not going to be able to stay close enough.
Jared Talmadge is able to clear the 13 of Ryan Kelly at the start-finish line, and now he sets his sights on current race leader Justin Campbell directly in front of him. They're working around lap vehicle of Mark Libertone in that 42 as they come around. They got a couple of more lap vehicles directly in front of them. Want to say that that's the 12 of Eddie Donahue.
All right, top 5 all around the first lap down race car. Quick little top 5 recap. Campbell leads ahead of Talmadge and P2. Ryan Kelly just now down to 3rd. Chris Stitz in 4th, and Nolan Hicks rounds out our top 5. Just outside of the top 5, Fonseca has fallen to 6th. Noah Steele in the A car very quietly having a fantastic run, all things considered, up to P7 now. Scott Richter in 8th. Isaac Shelley back in the conversation one more time, currently running in P9, and Cody Reed rounds out the top 10.
Just under 100 laps completed out here tonight. Justin Campbell currently the race leader over just Jared Talmadge as these drivers continue to make their way around the heartland of America. Kansas Speedway out here tonight. Sam Garcia, one of our race sponsors for the Halfway Apex 50 sponsor. Sam Garcia having a quiet night out here tonight. Had an issue maybe on the last yellow flag, but continues to keep that number 50 in contention.
That he does. Looking at some of the closest battles on track. Rickard in the 05 under threat from Shelley in the 98, who looks to take this position away and move Shelley up to P8. Remember, he had moved his way well inside of the top 10 before that caution came out, and then he slid his pit box, lost a number of positions through that sequence. Now finally gets himself back up to around P8 and looking forward still.
Race lead has started to slim down just a little bit. Jared Talmadge has made his way inside 0.4 of a second behind race leader Justin. One of these times I'll get it right, Arie. Justin Campbell as they begin to chase one another down once more, as now we're working lap number 100. Gotta wonder here how much dirty air is the 2 packing on front of the 27 as we continue on, and we expect to see these drivers come down to pit road. It's been about 48 laps right now. We know that they can go at least 50 because that's what we saw on the last green flag run, but what is the cutoff?
Yeah, we're going to find out real soon here, and I tell you what, I don't think the dirty air is going to be too prevalent from this far back. I think any closer, you're going to start to really feel it. I think right now Talmadge has got himself in that sweet spot where he's just on the very tail end of that dirty air. It's not really going to affect him too much from here, so he can just kind of ride, not abuse his tires too much, keep the 2 car in sight, and as he starts to close in due to struggles with the lap down race car, that's going to close this gap big time. The 2 car has to check up for the 6, and now Talmadge is close enough, certainly, to get that draft and to get that dirty air.
That cut the lead in about half effectively. Justin Smith with Justin Campbell, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Go high, go low. No, I said you go low. Is they go into turn number 3. That's going to allow Justin Talmadge to close within 2 car lengths of the race leader.
Down the back straightaway we go. It's Campbell and Talmadge separated by 0.2 of a second. Still waiting for these green flag pit stops. And of course, with the green flag pit stop looming, you gotta feel like the 27 is the car in the catbird seat. Usually it's the ones just behind who have an opportunity to undercut.
I mean, if you're Ryan Kelly right now, if you're Chris Stitz right now, do you open up the door to begin the round of green flag pit stops. You're within the range of, if you come down pit road, you're going to jump the race leaders if you come a lap or two before them. If I'm Ryan Kelly, Chris Stitz, Nolan Hicks back there, or if even I'm like Arie Fonseca, who led a bunch of laps earlier, I don't hate the idea of jumping down as soon as I can.
I tend to agree with you there, Tom, but I do know that you are a jump down as soon as you can type of driver out there on the racetrack. So we'll see what these drivers decide. I'll tell you what, looking at this battle right here, Nolan Hicks in the 86, looking to get around Chris Stitz in the 17. This is a battle for P4. And I tell you what, you know, we were talking about how much the 13 and the 17 used their tires for the track position. I think this has overwhelmingly been a net gain as they still run 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, hard to argue against that, as they restarted probably about 8th, 9th on the restart there, and they still run 3rd and 4th. But now the battle for the race lead is starting to heat up. Jarrett Talmadge all over the back now of the 2, and the 2 is going to get a little sideways in the entry and the apex of turns 1 and 2. May open up the door for a little bit of momentum from the 27 to come along. Not just yet. He's going to follow in the tire tracks and the wake of Campbell.
And Campbell not being able to plant that car on the white line right there benefits the 27. The 2 of Campbell needs to do everything he can to cut off all of that clean air on the front nose of that 27 if they're both going to be running that inside line. If he's half a lane up, that gives the 27 an opportunity to stick that nose down there. Much better through 1 and 2 this time. That's going to hinder the 27. He can't get much of a run if all of that air is cut off of the front nose.
But on the opposite side of that coin there, Arie, it's difficult for Campbell to do it because every time the 27 gets a little bit closer, he's taking the air off the spoiler, and it's making the 2 looser, and it's not allowing him to place that car exactly where he wants it. So it's kind of a catch-22. I would personally rather have somebody making me loose, take the air off my spoiler, than be tight any day.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that one. The dirty air is no fun to deal with as we see the 27 doing everything he can to push through that dirty air effect, trying to close that gap. If he can get close enough to get that front nose aligned with a quarter panel, that might be all he needs to make a move.
He may have the opportunity to make a move here on the exit at turn number 4, as he has closed now within a 10th of the race leader. He's got left side tires in the grass as we've got a battle for the race lead on the entry into turn number 1. Talmadge on the inside, Campbell on the outside. Campbell trying to use the momentum here on the exit of turn number 2. Is it going to be enough? Not just yet. Jarrett Talmadge back to the race lead.
Campbell did not get the runoff of the corner that he would have hoped for. No additional momentum, and Talmadge to the race lead, going to immediately dive down to the inside line, take that momentum away. And here comes Campbell.
Yeah, and Justin Campbell answers the call by saying, I'm going to come down pit road, and now that's going to flip Jarrett Talmadge to stay out for another lap. We got other cars on pit road. Looks like Ryan Kelly also on pit road.
Dakota Moniz just stopped the lap before as well. And now the ball is in the court of the 27. How much longer does Talmadge run out here in the race lead, knowing that the other driver he's competing for the win with at the moment has already stopped? He is going to offset himself a little bit more, staying out an additional lap.
Chris Stitz currently runs in second. He's got Nolan Hicks running directly behind him here. Battle for second place is about 2.5 seconds behind the race leader, Jarrett Talmadge. I got to imagine we're going to see Jarrett come down onto pit road probably this lap or at the very latest next lap here. I mean, drivers, their best time out here is a 30.5. That's about what they qualified at. Last time by, everybody inside the top 10 running 32 3s and 4s. So you're talking over 2 seconds. Oh, issues for Chris Stitz on pit road. He abandoned ship, and he's going to have to go out. Nolan Hicks also does the same thing. Stitz still sideways on the apron of the front stretch.
Chris Stitz, big slip up on pit entry right there, has to go back around. He is going to lose so much time doing that very thing. Hicks does eventually get it on pit road, but both very sketchy.
Taking a look at the replay here, Chris Stitz tries to get onto pit road, and Nolan Hicks does the exact same thing behind him, but he was able to get it onto pit road. Stitz has to abandon his pit road entry effort, and
Here we
has
are.
to say I'm going to do another lap as Jarrett Talmadge, the race leader on pit road, but that passes the race lead over to Joshua Kanata as they run right now.
Kanata going for the long run right here, wants those tires working as good as they can be all the way to the end of the race, wants to be on that best set of tires. And I tell you what, I think, oh, that's going to be close with Campbell in the 2, making up use of those newer tires that he's got. I like this out of the 16, and I like it out of the 27, to be honest, Tom. I feel like more often than not, coming back on those better tires later in the race seems to pay dividends, seems to work pretty well. I'm surprised Kanata didn't get a speeding penalty right there, but he does get it slowed down a time.
All right, so the first driver, all right, let's try to remind me here, Arie. The first driver to come down on pit road was Justin Campbell in the 2. He pitted directly behind once he got past for the race lead. Ryan Kelly followed him down on pit road. They've got about a second between those two drivers. And where is Jarrett Talmadge is about 4 seconds behind second place Campbell and what will be third place Ryan Kelly here in a moment.
That would be correct. The last driver, a couple of drivers yet to make their final pit stop. Mike Miller has been out there since lap 60. Somehow still staying out at the moment, currently in the race lead. He'll be coming down any second now to make his final pit stop. Other drivers who can go further, Jesse Thornick in P4, Chris Stamper in P5. They can go a little longer before their final pit stop. Clint Cox in P7 as well, yet to make the final pit stop of the night. So we're going to see some names mixed and mingling in the top 5, top 10. Mike Miller trying to bring it down. Is he going to make it? He's not going to make it.
More drivers having an issue with pit road entry out here. Mike Miller believed that's going to be an unsafe pit entry and likely a penalty for the race leader as he came down on pit road for the 99. But that's going to pass the race lead over to Justin Campbell. Ryan Kelly about a second behind him. But Jarrett Talmadge, last time by, was actually a little bit slower. May have had an on-track issue that last time.
A lot of these drivers dealing with other race cars in and around where they're running. They've also got to manage how they make these tires last for quite a while to the end of the finish. That is a very long run to take these tires. Something to consider for these drivers for sure as we see Talmadge get around Thornick here. Thornick into the wall. Real hard hit right there for the 14. Get a look at that right side. It looks mostly intact, but certainly not what you want to be doing.
So here's another thing, Arie, right? I love having the extra tires if I'm on the 27 right now, but the 27 needs to balance out, and it's a very fine line to walk. It needs to balance out the tire degradation, where the line is, how long are the tires better than the race leaders, but you also can't use them up before you get to the race leaders because we've seen passing be at a premium here tonight.
Absolutely, and you know by the time you catch the race leader, it's not going to be for a while, so you don't want to use up all that stuff, get there late in the run when it's even harder to pass, when the tires are even more worn out. You've got a lot to manage here if you're the 27 of Talmadge, but one thing you know for sure is that you have 3 lap better tires, so as long as you can chip away at that lead all the way to the end, you don't need to take huge chunks at a time.
You don't need to take huge chunks at a time, but if you wait, you've got Nolan Hicks, who's on better tires behind you. You've got Jesse Thornock, he's on significantly older tires, but you're gonna have Isaac Shelley in the camera frame as well, so it's a fun balancing act to walk, right, when you've got cars coming in your rearview mirror and also cars at your front that you're trying to catch.
Certainly the case. Battles going on all over. We're trying to keep up with them. For all of you watching out at home, Scott Rickard's gonna get P9 settled in right here, getting ahead of Clint Cox, who still has yet to make his final pit stop on the night. A lot of these drivers who are still waiting for their final pit stop, taking the opportunity of being off sequence, trying to hope for a yellow here to reset the field, get themselves some track position, get them looking good moving forward as we see Fonseca to the inside of Miller. Very close call there on the entry of 1. They get settled.
Fonseca on the inside there was not able to make the pass as Mike Miller he's going to be able to come around with a little bit fresher tires as we saw him on pit road just a couple of minutes ago. Scott Rickard has been a name we've been talking about all night tonight. Currently runs back in 8th as he looks to take a 7th place running position away from Fonseca at the start finish line. Give 7th place to Rickard as they run into 1.
Richter taking advantage of the first half of this run right here. We know how strong that 0.5 is early on. Here's Kanata now, the driver on the newest set of tires and in contention. Driver 16 currently runs in P11. He's got 1 lap better tires than even that of Talmadge in the 27, though he is significantly further behind. The 16, Tom, he has a great strategy here. He'll be making up positions. The thing that's hindering him is that he started this sequence so far removed from the battle for the race lead, and he's still got so many cars to pass.
Yeah, he's about 15 seconds behind the current race leader of Campbell, and that's going to be a lot. He is going to need some help here now in order to be in contention for the race win. Now, what he does have the opportunity to do, he's got the opportunity to go up to probably about, I'll say about the 4th place running position here, if we do stay green here by the end of tonight's races. And, you know, I mean, he's currently 10th right now. If you can come away with the top 5, that's a great points line.
Absolutely, and we'll see what we can see out of the 16 moving forward and towards the rest of tonight's event. And, of course, a yellow would change everything, not to jinx everything, knock on wood here. But Justin Campbell in the 2 car, out front by a 1.5 seconds over Ryan Kelly in the 13. Kelly, who decided to use up those tires halfway through the race, go up there, get the track position, lead it halfway. It was a masterclass for Kelly in the 13. It was working good for the 17 before pit road issues, but Kelly now effectively in P2 at this sequence. Great strategy to get him up into the conversation. He's stuck at about a 1.5 seconds back, not really closing that gap. He's on equal tires to that of Justin Campbell, and in his mirror before too long, he's going to have to worry about Jared Talmadge, who currently sits about 1.2 seconds in his rearview mirror.
While we've got a second on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network, I want to give one more quick shout out to the title sponsor of the Trinity Racing League. That is Larry Arts Production. It's a comedy variety YouTube channel with stop motion videos, vlogs, live streams, and more. Head on over to Larry Arts Productions on YouTube today.
Chris Stitz in the 17 looking to make up some lost ground from that pit entry mishap. Going to get around Kralik. That's for P10 on the track. And I tell you what, Tom, the 17 car being 10th place after all of that bad that happened, that's not all too bad, all things considered.
It's really not. I mean, he had the opportunity to put that car in the wall and not even continue, but he was able to take control of the car as it was sliding on the way into pit road. And, you know, I mean, he was running inside the top 5 when he came down onto pit road, so he's going to lose a couple of spots overall, but still a lot better than what it could have been.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Some more battles we got going on. Noah Steele in the 8 car around Chris Stamper in the 53. You can see Stamper struggling right there, still yet to make his final pit stop tonight. Steele will be making his way up through the running order as well. He was running just inside the top 10 before the green flag sequence began. You see a couple cars back. Thomas Green had those issues early on in the race, go all the way back to the start, and Thomas Green had a top 3 race car before getting that front end damaged a little bit. He spent a lot of time on pit road. Now he's back. He's gotten his lap back. He's back in conversation. He's currently running P15 at the moment. He last pit on lap 109, so he is very much here for position.
Last lap time by for the race leaders, Jarrett Talmadge, just under 0.3 of a second faster than race leader Justin Campbell. We're with just over 30 laps to go. He's going to get there in the next probably 10 laps, maybe even less. All of it depends on what happens here when he tries to get around the 13 of Ryan Kelly, who has been strong all night. Let's not count out the 13 before we write him off.
Certainly can't count him out. Kelly in the 13, he put up a fight last time. What can he do this time? Unfortunately, there's going to be a 3-lap tire disparity between these two drivers, so it's going to come down to how much have each of these drivers used up to this point in this run. Talmadge just kind of letting the run come to him. He's not been forcing the issue. We saw it earlier in the race as well, where he kind of let the tires come to him. He didn't want to get aggressive. He didn't want to worry too much about the track position. He was going to figure it out in the long run. To the inside of Kelly he goes, and they're going to be dead even down the back straightaway.
Side by side, they race down the backstretch. Got to imagine advantage to the 27 with the fresh tires on the entry into turn number 3. And new second place runner, Jarrett Talmadge. And now the gap between first place and second place, Arie, 1.2 seconds here.
Here we go then with the 27. Why don't we take a look on board the roof of Jared Talmadge as he works to close in this gap to Justin Campbell, our race leader. Last time by the lap times, 32.08 for Campbell, 31.93 for Talmadge. We'll give you the times again at the line this time, but you can already see a little bit of that eye test coming into play. We do have 4 cars that are going to be lap traffic before too long, just up ahead as well.
Yeah, and if I'm Justin Campbell right now, you really kind of wish that they were that you saw maybe a little bit more of a battle between Ryan Kelly and Justin Talmadge, as he was able to slice off about a tenth there. You see he was 9/100ths of a second better than race leader Justin Campbell. See what it is as they update once again here to be in lap number 130.
Consistently closing in. Does the lap traffic come into play? This time at the line, the advantage is going to be only about we'll call it 300ths of a second, so it slowed down just a little bit, but now Campbell has caught the dirty air of the cars in front.
Well, see, I think probably the reason why it slowed down the last lap or two is because Campbell had the wake of the lap cars, and now he's in the full dirty air effect of the lap cars, and it is now under a second here, and it's all about where you catch these lap vehicles.
It absolutely is. Campbell didn't catch him at the greatest time, but he is around the two of them who run side by side now, and if they continue to run side by side by the time the 27 gets there, that'll really be bad news.
Yeah, this is going to be an issue here potentially for the 27 as they're going to single file out on the backstretch. Stephen Clapp and Justin Smith down the backstretch here. They are currently in front of second place running car Jarrett Talmadge, as Talmadge makes his way around Justin Smith in the 6 and now tries to get around the 9 of Clapp.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's 1 out of 2 in which he caught at a perfect time to make the pass unimpeded. The 27 down to the inside of the 9 car. This is going to be another one he's able to make the pass on unimpeded. Meanwhile, up front, Campbell's having to exit the corner side by side with a lap down car. So that's going to be 3 for 3 in favor of Talmadge. Campbell's not catching these guys at as good of a time on the racetrack, and he's got the worst tires out of the two. Somehow, some way, though, Campbell has a 9/10 of a second lead. He's kind of opened it up just a smidge.
Yeah, he's kind of steadied it out there a little bit. We've seen it open up and close and then reclose again, but it's kind of holding at just about 9/10 of a second right here, and I still got to wonder how much is Jarrett using the tires here. He doesn't have anything in the rearview mirror that's coming. Nolan Hicks is the next car that would probably pose a challenge to the 27, and he's about 3 seconds back off of Jarrett.
All right, Jarrett caught the 1 car at a decent time. He's going to catch the 19 car at a great time, entering down into 1, and that is the 4 lap down cars that we were looking at out front as a battle between the 19 and the 1 ensues a little further back. Justin Campbell now sits just at 0.8 of a second ahead of the 27 with some clean air. 1 more lap down car eventually to try and pass, but at the line it's going to be 24 laps to go.
24 laps to go. Justin Campbell now leads by 0.7 of a second. Was just about a second a lap ago, and well, that lead is starting to close just a little bit. These drivers have a little bit of clean air directly in front of them here. We'll see how much the 27 is able to close in over the next lap or 2 before they find their next batch of lap cars.
Going to take a look from on board the 2 car of Justin Campbell, our race leader, looking back at P2 on the track. Jarrett Talmadge closing in the gap bit by bit, 6.5 of a second into turn 1. That number is coming down slowly but steadily, and now the 27 is in range. He's going to be getting a draft down the straightaway. They do have a faster lap down car in Chris Stamper, who's going to be coming through on some brand new tires, or is that Clint Cox in the 03? It's going to be Clint Cox in the 03, pardon me, and that Ford Mustang. He's going to catch these guys at an okay time. Works out better for Campbell as he gets around Moniz in the 5. And a little tricky right here. This is going to hinder Campbell's entry.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult here, especially if Clint's unable to pass him before the exit of the corner. Looks like he's going to be able to. That was not really good for either one of the two race leaders. Probably worked out a little bit better for Jarrett Talmadge directly behind him, as now we are within 0.6 of a second from first place to second place. I gotta say, I don't know if Jarrett is showing us everything here, but Justin's been able to hang on here a lot longer than I expected him to, as we see 21 laps to go.
I agree. Usually in this situation, I see the driver with 3-lap newer tires coming into the fold, and I pretty much consider it game at that point. It is such a hard advantage to negate, even with that time you get in the first half of the run. But Justin Campbell has done a phenomenal job as he continues to lead right now by 0.6 of a second, trying to hold Talmadge back at arm's length here. But for how much longer will he be able to do? 20 laps to go.
The longer he waits here, and I don't know if he's waiting voluntarily or if the tires are just starting to fall off and they're starting to match what Justin has. Last time by, Justin was only 3/100 slower than Jarrett. So that difference that we've seen, where it was a 1/4 second to a 1/10 of a second to within a 1/10 of a second, now starting to negate itself from second place to first place.
Well, I tell you what, through 1 and 2 that lap, and even through 3 and 4, Talmadge is picking up the pieces here as Campbell is starting to struggle with the rear end of that race car getting a little loose. We're going to see Talmadge send it into the corner right here, pin it on that white line. Very smooth at the wheel, getting a little loose on exit right here, but he is pulled fully within range now. He's got a lot of draft here, but he's also going to have the dirty air as long as Campbell can keep it pinned right in front of him.
Quick round out of the top 5 as they run right now. Justin Campbell, the race leader, over Jarrett Talmadge by about a 1/4 of a second. Ryan Kelly runs in 3rd, Nolan Hicks in 4th, and Isaac Shelley rounds out our top 5 as they run, as we have 18 laps to go as Talmadge continues to try to chase down the 2, as he's been doing for about the past 30 laps.
Talmadge gets into the corner so much deeper than what the 2 can do, and they're about level from middle on out of the corner. You can see both of them just barely on the knife edge trying to keep that rear end planted. But it just seems like every time they enter a corner, the 27's able to get down, get into the corner faster, get it settled on that white line a little faster, a little more comfortable, and that's going to pay dividends. He does scrape the wall right here, but now the battle is on.
Does Talmadge have too many laps on his tires here to try to make a pass on the inside, assuming that there's no mistakes from Justin?
I think that might have been the mistake right there. Campbell into the outside wall, and now Talmadge to the inside. Battle for the lead, battle for the win. Campbell keeps it planted in the middle. Talmadge on the bottom. They come out of the corner side by side, and to the line. It's going to be 16 laps to go.
Jarrett Talmadge with a nose out ahead by half a car. Justin Campbell still able to keep the momentum up on the outside, but loses a little bit through the apex of the corner. Here he comes back with the momentum. Is it enough? Don't think so, but he may have a run down the backstretch.
He has a run, but I don't know if the run's going to be good enough. Into turn 3, Talmadge completely clear. He might be good to take those new tires and run away. Campbell has fought for all he's worth, but in the end, cannot defend from 3-lap better tires. 14, make it 15 laps to go at the line for Talmadge in the 27.
Jarrett Talmadge, clean air, not a lap car in sight in front of these 2 leaders, as these drivers get set to duke it out over the closing laps in tonight's event here, race number 2 of the Trinity Racing League points-paying event here for their season. And Justin Talmadge looking to get a win out here tonight and put his name into the playoffs.
Now that that battle is done and away, we'll turn our attention to the closest battle on track, and it's for P11. Cody Reed defending, Aaron Kralik looking to attack for this spot on some slightly better tires. He's going to go to the inside, put the 25, keeps it pinned on that right rear quarter panel. Not so fast, not giving up that position.
Reed's able to hang on to the outside of that 0-1 of Kralik as they enter into turn number 1. Side by side, Kralik has about 4-lap older tires than Cody Reed. They're going to make contact on the exit of turn number 2 there between the 25 and the 0-1. Just hard racing right there.
That could have been really bad if the 0-1 got tight at the wrong time right there. They do get out of that one Some real tight ballast at 25, gets sideways in 3. Great save from Cody Reed to keep that race car straight. He does lose that position in the end to Aaron Kralik in the 0-1, who moves up to P11 and sees if he can't set his sights on the 8 car with 13 laps left for the top 10.
As the race starts to come to a close out here tonight, we're going to see a dozen laps to go next time by. Want to give a shout out here, Arie, quiet name that we have spoken a lot about here tonight, but hasn't been involved in any incidents and has kept the car clean and in contention all night. That's the 05 Scott Richter in that Chevy Camaro, as we're going to have 12 laps to go this time. He's been fast out here tonight, just been a little short on speed in terms of race winning speed.
Yeah, Rickard has had a great run out here tonight, as has the 98 of Shelley, who quietly worked his way into the top 5 during the second half of this race. Remember, sat on pole, had to serve a penalty, started at the back of the field, but we knew he had the speed. He's probably passed the most race cars out here tonight, got up through the field, had an issue on pit road, had to come back through the field again, and now finds himself in 5th position as the laps tick down. 11 remaining, but that 98 is a lot to hang his hat on today.
Those are the kind of nights, Arie, where you're like, man, if this didn't happen, or if this didn't happen, or if this didn't happen, we could be talking about a different result out here. But anyway, it's going to be hard to hang your hat over a 5th place finish out here tonight as they run right now.
Absolutely the case for the 98. Up front, Talmadge in the 27 works this gap. It's almost to a second now over Justin Campbell in the 2 car, who hasn't let the 27 get too far away. He's still been maintaining his pace, but that tire difference made all the difference in the end, as we see Chris Stamper in the 53 making his way around on some fresher tires, getting a lap back.
Jared Talmadge continues to extend his race lead, as now it is just under a second between him and 2nd place Justin Campbell as they run right now. Ryan Kelly currently in 3rd. Gotta wonder if Ryan has any opportunity to get up there and maybe take 2nd place away from Campbell. Last time by, Ryan was a little bit faster than Justin, so we're gonna have to monitor this and see if he's able to get up there. He's about 2.5 seconds back off of Campbell, and I don't think that's completely out of the question here in the closing laps.
Not if Campbell gets into the wall or gets sideways in one of the corners. I think it would take a mistake. I don't think on pace alone you're going to make up that difference if you're the 13. But regardless, I mean, what a call it was out of Ryan Kelly in the 13. Now positioned to get a podium here if all things go well to the end. Deciding halfway through the race that he was going to use up those tires to go get that track position. And a lot of people would have called him crazy for it. You know, a lot of people were saving their tires. They didn't dare do such a thing with how bad the handling gets late in the run here at Kansas. But he said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And it worked out. Finds himself in great position here. Position that maybe he wouldn't have been in otherwise.
Josh Kanata and Chris Stitz currently battling for the 7th place position, but they've got lap vehicle of Stephen Clapp directly behind them, and they have another lap vehicle of is that Josh Stovall directly in front of them on the exit of turn number 2. Kanata, remember, with the freshest tires here, he has got a lap better tires than the 17 of Chris Stitz. See if the 16 is able to take away a 7th place position here from last week's race winner at Echo Park Speedway, Chris Stitz.
We're going to see as the 16 looks to work that middle lane, kind of 1 or 2 lanes off of the bottom. Seems to be where that 16 car is preferred to be running at the moment. He is going to try and dive down to the inside this time. All over the rear bumper of Stitz in the 17. Nothing happening so far. Only 1 lap difference on the tires, so Stitz is going to be able to hold on maybe a little bit better.
So far, so good for the 17 in Stitz, as now a little bit of a reverse image of what we saw a lap ago. Josh Kanata going to take a look down onto the inside, and that's going to allow a little bit of momentum for the 17. At the start-finish line, we're going to see 5 laps to go, high 5 over the Speedway.
That gap starts to widen out just a little bit more. We got one further back. That's Samuel Garcia in P9. And the 8 car, Noah Steele, looking to get that spot before it's all said and done. He is hounding the rear end of Garcia, even though Garcia's got 1 lap better tires.
Sam Garcia protecting the position on the entry into turn number 3, runs down the track just a lane or 2 in front of the 8 of Noah Steele, but Noah is going to be able to take that spot away, put a new ninth place runner for Noah Steele. Sam Garcia slots back into 10th.
One more pass for the road as we work 4 laps remaining. The gap up front has increased to just over a second in favor of Jarrett Talmadge. Started this race in 3rd place. Has been arguably the fastest driver out there all night. Very patient on the tires. Very much letting the runs come to him, and it has worked out phenomenally for driver 27 in that crazy SpongeBob machine.
Well, we may be able to get an opportunity to ask him about some of those on there that you were talking about earlier, but great night so far for the 27 out here, and ran really kind of a smart race. You know, started 3rd, but took the pole position away once Isaac had to serve a penalty, and you know, at times he stretched his lead, and at times we saw him fall back into 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place, save the tires, and use them at the end.
Out of turn 3 and 4 for the penultimate time, it's going to be white flag in the air, which means this race is official. At the line right there, the 27 in the lead, a 1.5 over 2nd place. No pressure behind for Jarrett Talmadge here in race 2.
Looking to lock himself into the playoffs with the checkered flag out here tonight from the Sunflower State 160 in the Trinity Racing League. Jarrett Talmadge has one more set of corners to go before he becomes a playoff driver.
Last week, it was the 17 of Chris Stitz locking himself into the playoffs, and this week, it's going to be the 27. Jarrett Talmadge is king in Kansas, across the line, secures the win, locks himself in to the playoffs later on, drifts it through turns 1 and 2. Rounding out our podium of drivers, Justin Campbell in P2, Ryan Kelly in P3. Those will be the drivers that we'll hear from shortly.
All right, well, I tell you what, we have, while Arie takes a look and sees if she can grab Jarrett Talmadge from Discord, I've got 3rd place finisher Ryan Kelly out here tonight. Ryan, Tom, and Arie up in the booth. How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right. Well, we saw a couple of early cautions to start tonight's race, and, well, we thought maybe we were in trouble for a long race out here tonight, but turns out we took some long green flag runs, and you come home 3rd.
Yeah, it went well. I think the 2 guys ahead of me just had a little more pace, but worked the strategy right there at the end. A couple cautions early, and went down pit road, hoping it would go green there to make it a 2-stop, but just had that caution light there before it panned out, so still happy with 3rd, and it was a good race.
Yeah, about the midway of the race, maybe around, well, I'm used to calling it stage 2, but you guys don't run stages here. There was one restart where we saw you use a lot of that outside lane. Were people saving the tires that much, or were you just have something up there on the outside lane?
Yeah, I wasn't too sure. I definitely saw them lined up there on the bottom, and having lost the track position earlier on, I just wanted to try and get it back quickly and see if I could maintain it from there. So just tried going hard, and the top was ripping there for a couple laps.
It certainly was. You were able to work your way up to the front, lead some laps out here tonight. After a rough outing at Echo Park Speedway last week, you came in here tonight tied for 21st in points, top 16 going to advance to the playoffs. We're only 2 races in, but we're talking about the playoffs. How you feeling about your upcoming chances at Indianapolis and Red Bull Ring?
Yeah, should be good. Red Bull Ring will be an interesting one with the road courses here at the Xfinity car, but I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully just be consistent over the weeks and have a good one.
Well, consistency will get you there, and we will see you next week at Indianapolis. But before we let you go here, Ryan, we're going to allow you to open up the floor. Anybody you want to say hello to back home watching you come home 3rd?
Yeah, he's got some family watching, so shout out to them. Thanks to my teammates this race, and all the guys at Trinity for putting this on, and thanks to you guys for putting on the show, and hope everyone had a good one.
All right, Ryan, congratulations once again on a 2nd place finish, and I believe 2nd place, Justin Campbell, is with Miss Heinzman.
That's right. I've got our 2nd place finisher, Justin Campbell. You put up one heck of a fight tonight. You tried everything you could in that final run to hold off the 27 of Talmadge, but was it just that 3-lap tire discrepancy that did it in the end? What more did you need?
I just need to do better saving tire, man. That's all I can really say. I did a pretty good job at the beginning of the race. After I pitted to top off with fuel just for no reason, to be honest with you. But honestly, I thought I had really good long run pace, but Jared outdid me in the other two race cycles we had, unfortunately. Honestly, there weren't really nothing else different I could do. I mean, there was obviously a couple lap cars that were kind of making it a little bit difficult to pass, and I'm not going to blame it on that, even though it certainly didn't help my situation, but still had a good race.
A good race indeed. You made your way up through the field, had a lot of speed out there tonight, and definitely competed for the win. I tell you what, 2 races in, and both times you were in the conversation to get the win at the very end, so great way to start the season. We turn our attention to Indianapolis next week, and then the Red Bull Ring in 2 weeks' time. How are you feeling about races 3 and 4 on the season?
I feel good about it. Just going to do the same thing I do every week. Just try and qualify the best I can and just ride it out till it's time to go. I mean, not being anybody else's business. Obviously, got into it with somebody tonight, but to me, it's just a racing deal, I guess. But it happens.
Alrighty, well, there you go. Justin, we're going to open up the floor to you to give any hays and highs, shout-outs, or the like before we let you go celebrate.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks to my teammates. I mean, they helped me out throughout the race. I mean, we helped each other throughout the race, to be honest with you, just kind of making sure we all stay in line and stay up front as long as we can together. Obviously, got a little shuffled out in the late race pit stops, but I think we had a good night.
Absolutely did. Congrats again, Justin, on your P2 run, and that brings us to the big winner, who I believe Tom has caught up with.
I have caught up with Jarrett Talmadge. Jarrett Talmadge, welcome to the playoffs. Race number 2, win number 1 of the season. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good.
Yeah, I tell you what, we were following you out here tonight. You kind of caught maybe a little bit of a lucky break, as some may call it, as the pole sitter had to take an end of longest line penalty, but that opened up the door for you to take the race lead early and to kind of control the race underneath your own pace.
Yeah, got kind of lucky that well, it was our teammate Ike that got it, but got lucky getting the lead, and I mean, really just I guess the first stint set sail. I figured we'd get some cautions in there, and we did. And of course, right as we got the caution, I had lapped my other teammate to put him 2 down because he had gotten nose damage, so that didn't work out either. But that second stint, we kind of got behind because some people decided they wanted to, like, I guess, go all out instead of keeping the rear on it. And I mean, glad we went green from there on out, because I think you saw the people who were really good at keeping their tires on it really just kind of gap everybody else.
Yeah, certainly. Tire wear certainly seemed to be an issue, and you could really tell the difference between drivers who were saving their tires out here tonight versus drivers that were using it. And you kind of played both ends of that, both sides of that coin there. There were times where we saw you extend your lead, and then there were times where we saw you slide back into 5th, 6th, 7th place as the race was going along. Any sort of tire conservation there? Was it fuel or a little bit of both?
I was really just saving tires, to be honest, falling back to 6, because I knew I wasn't going to really gap those guys that were at the front, because they were going to just be pushing as hard as they can to lead, so there was really no point to race them. So I was okay with falling back to about 5th, 6th, because I knew as long as we did get far enough into the run, it would be really easy just to get underneath of them and go right by them. So it was really just saving tires.
All right, so now with this win, this is going to effectively lock you into the playoffs here beginning in the middle of April. Does this change how you're going to approach maybe Michigan, Texas, Homestead, and maybe take more of an aggressive approach in terms of just trying to go for the overall win at the end of those races?
Not really. I never really sit back. It's always foot on the gas, always going forward, always playing for strategies. Doesn't really matter where I am, point situation or anything. So we're going to keep going like we are and hopefully go win a lot more of them.
All right, and I've got one more question out here tonight because Arie and I were going back and forth about this. We need some information. Who's calling, or who's SpongeBob calling on the hood of that 27?
Calling everybody freaky. Freak Bob's calling.
Well, Jared, congratulations on a win out here tonight. We're going to allow you to say hello to anybody you want to on the side of that 27, taking away your first victory of the season. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out everybody who runs the league. Josh, Nick, you guys for putting on the broadcast, and shout out to Campbell there for the battles up at the front. That was a lot of fun. Same with Kelly was in there. Shout out Ike and Tom, my 2 teammates too.
All right, Jared, congratulations once again on a win here tonight at Kansas Speedway. We're going to let you go debrief and celebrate with your team. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
All right, Arie, 160 laps down, away, and in the books here at race number 2 at Kansas Speedway out here tonight.
It was one heck of a show. After 160 laps, it's the 27 car who walks away on top. We saw a lot of good battles. I'm surprised at the amount of passing that we saw tonight at Kansas, given it's a track that's historically pretty difficult to make these moves on, but the differing pit strategies certainly played into it, and we got a very, very long run to the finish there under green flag conditions to really let the drivers shine, those who were going to come out here at Kansas and put on a good performance.
Yeah, a lot of tire strategy out here tonight. And one thing that was noticeable, Arie, throughout the course of tonight's race, with those long green flag runs and having those stages, when drivers came down onto pit road, it was a challenge, as we saw multiple drivers have an issue get onto pit road. But from Kansas Speedway, what do you say we take a look at the finishing results out here tonight from the Trinity Racing League? Top 3, Jarrett Talmadge, Justin Campbell, Ryan Kelly. We just spoke to them here live on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network as they brought home the podium out here tonight. Nolan Hicks and Isaac Shelley rounds out the top 5. Scott Rickard has a strong run and strong points night out here tonight. Chris Stitz is going to come home in the top 7, followed by Joshua Kanata, Noah Steele, and Sam Garcia in the top 10.
Aaron Kralik is going to be the 11th place finisher ahead of Cody Reed in P12. Thomas Green brings it home in 13th. Ollie Fonseca down in 14th. Dakota Moniz rounds out the top 15, with Josh Stovall coming home in 16th. Clint Cox finishes in 17th, Stephen Clapp in 18th, and rounding out the top 20 is going to be Joshua Sawyer and Jesse Thornick.
Our field of 30 is rounded out by Chris Stamper, who comes home in 21st place, 1 lap down out here tonight after running inside the top 15 early in the race. Mike Miller comes home 22nd. Mark Labertone in that 42 comes home a couple laps down as well. Justin Smith in the number 6 is good enough for 24th out here tonight. Eddie Donahue, driver the number 12, comes home 25th. And 26th belongs to Sam Dyer. 27th is Ben Kinney. And then our field of 30 is rounded out by Graham Walker in the 18, Thomas Walter, and Cedric Hunter in 30th.
All right, 2 races down, 16 to go here in the Trinity Racing League for this season. Echo Park in Atlanta down and away. The next 2, Indianapolis and the Red Bull Ring, will be here to cover all the action every Monday night here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the racing action week in and week out. For Tom Richter and myself, I'll be everything tonight. We'll see you in Indianapolis.